welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to basically do your hair and makeup for an interview and how to dress as well. I'm gonna very briefly talk about clothes and stuff, but I hope this is going to be a useful tutorial. So I've got like my moisturizer on already. I'm going to go straight onto my foundation, and I'm actually going to be using a tinted moisturizer just because I don't want, like, you know, for it to look so caked on. You want to look as natural as possible. So I'm actually going to use my Oval 6 brush. Right, so tinted moisturizer on. I'm going to go on to my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NW30. And I'm going to use the Sephora 57 brush. It's like one of my favorite concealer brushes. You can use a sponge if you want to as well. And I'm just going to go under the eyes. So I'm keeping my base minimal, and one of the reasons for that is, imagine you do get the job. Realistically, you want to be able to create a look that you are going to go into work with as well, right? So you don't want to look like all glammed up for your interview and then you get the job and then you look like a tramp. So you just kind of want to do something that's so minimalistic, and it doesn't take away from the interview as well. Like, you don't want somebody to be looking at you and being like, oh my god, like this girl looks like she spends forever in front of the mirror doing her makeup. You just want your skin to look like you, I guess. I've got a little bit of a huge spot over there, so I'm just going to cover it a little bit just to take the redness off. So I'm going to go and set my makeup a little bit. So I'm going to use the translucent powder. I'm actually going to use my sponge and just going to first set under the eyes. And then I'm just going to also do like my T-zone, because I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm at an interview, I'm very nervous. And when I'm nervous, I sweat, especially upper lip, chin area. So I don't want to be talking and then constantly doing this all the time. So I think if you can minimize the sweating, that would be great. So setting, you know, your makeup a little bit would be a good idea. Or you can use, you know, primers and mattifying creams around the T-zone as well to kind of minimize that a little bit as well. I'm going to continue this natural look, so I've only set in the T-zone. I'm going to use some of my favorite NARS liquid blush in Luster. So again, nothing too strong, but you know, it's okay. Like blusher, I don't think, you know, it can look crazy if you want to. It's fine as long as it doesn't look editorial. Going to use a nice dense Illamasqua brush and just kind of like press it in. So it's very, very subtle if you've noticed. And I'm going to set my blusher with a NARS powder blush called Zen with an angled brush. This is just a Morphe angled brush. Doesn't actually have a number, it came with a set. And I'm just kind of setting the liquid with this powder. Yeah, so you can see it's like just a really subtle sort of blush. Okay, I'm going to contour a little bit, and I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown foundation stick. So this is the color 7.25. And I'm just going to, again, do a little bit. I don't want this to be like, you know, overly crazy. I'm going to use a slightly lighter color for the nose. And it's the Nude Sticks Nudies in Bondi Bay. And it's like a nice subtle brown that I'm just going to use for the nose, a little bit on the forehead, and also under the chin. And I'm actually going to use the back of the sponge and just kind of press the you know, the product in. And I find when you do it this way, it just looks a lot more natural than if you use, you know, a brush or you use a powder. I feel like it gives you a lot more definition with powder or a brush, which, you know, is great if you want that kind of look. But since I want this makeup to almost look like it's part of my skin and it looks like me, and the word subtle and simple, I'm just kind of doing it with the sponge. Another advice, which I think for most of you, like if you are having an interview the next day, you're obviously going to be really, really nervous, but I think it's really, really important to prepare yourself the night before, you know, or if you need a few more days, like, you know, obviously do your research about the company, write down questions that you have for the company, because it's always nice at the end of the interview when people are like, oh, so do you have any questions for us? It shows that you're interested in the company when you do have a few questions as well. And I think it's also important to self-analyze and to see what your strengths and your weaknesses are. You know, and examples of where you've sort of provided great customer service or where you've really challenged yourself, you know, and things like that. So the research prior is great. And then the night before, try and get a really good sleep, because you don't want to be having like the bags under your eyes, and you don't want your skin to be like, you know, irritated. You just want to look really calm and collected, I guess, when you go to an interview. So I think these little things do play a major role. So don't go partying the night before your interview, basically. As per usual, you guys know that I like to do my eyebrows before eye makeup, so I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color Chocolate. I'm just gonna brush my brows into place. And I always start with the area that I need the most sort of filling in, and which is usually like the arch and like the end of my brows, because that's where I have sort of less hair. I find if your eyebrows are way too arched or they're like super strong here, it changes the whole expression on your face, and I don't want you to go to an interview looking like you have an attitude or mean, you know? Like, I don't want your eyebrows to look like you're from the Addams Family, and I think it's nicer when your eyebrows are like nice and soft, because it just gives you just an approachable look, I think. So continuing with my eye makeup, I'm gonna get a paint pot, which is the Laying Low from MAC. And I'm just gonna get some, not too much, just like really subtle on the eyelid. I'm just going to use the Huda Beauty Nude palette, and just to kind of like keep the colors very neutral. So I'm gonna start with this one in the corner here, in the bottom corner. Get a nice fluffy brush and literally focus on my crease. Obviously pick colors that complement what you're going to wear, what you've planned to sort of wear. And it's funny because I only thought of doing this kind of tutorial today because I am actually off to a sort of TV interview, and I thought, you know what, like, there are people that I feel don't necessarily know how they should do their hair and makeup for interviews, or how they should even dress for interviews. And I think as much as first impression matters, and maybe that's why sometimes people feel like they need to really glam up and dress up and wear something, I don't know, you know, Kim Kardashian, but then you need to think of it as, you know, what the interviewer will think of you. And I feel like if you just do a little bit too much, they might sometimes feel like, but is their focus going to be on their work, or are they going to be like focusing on, you know, looking like this all the time? Does that make sense? Or, you know, so I always try and think of it as, okay, if I'm an interviewer, if I'm, you know, and I've you know, interviewed my PAs in the past, and I kind of like, you know, not that it matters what they wear because they work from home. It really, you know, that first impression where you look at somebody and you look at their simplicity, and you look at, you know, I think when somebody looks very, you know, well presented and groomed, you then think the first thought would be, oh, you know, they are going to be focused. Whereas if somebody comes in, you know, like with my long nails, so don't, you know, like I look very ratchet right now with these nails, but you know, if somebody's like super glam, you know, with like this and that, and like the bold lips and whatever, I think, you know, I would be so distracted. I'll literally be looking at them and I'm just like, you know, are you really going to be focused? So I think in terms of clothing, it's always nice to wear, you know, like a nice blazer, you know, nice top that's not too deep. You know, you don't want to again get them to just stare at your cleavage or something. Like, you want it to be, you know, conservative, and maybe some pants with the, or some, you know, like a nice long, fairly long, you know, skirt, or, you know, something that just, I feel, and I could be wrong here, so forgive me, I just feel like if you dress conservatively to an interview, they are more interested in what you have to say instead of what you look like, if that makes sense. And I think ultimately that's what we want. We want people to really see us for our worth. Okay, so I'm not going to do any like smokiness and smoky looks and things like that. I'm just going to go on with a nice liner. Right, so eyeliner done. At this point you can add, you know, lashes, or you can do mascara. I'm going to do lashes because I usually do, so I'm going to stick on the most natural lashes that I usually wear, which are the Giselle from Huda Beauty. So making sure both the lashes are glued well. If you are worried about your lashes falling off, because again, during the interview, can you imagine you're talking and then it's just like one that's like falling off and the interviewer is like, you know, like your, yeah, something. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. So if you're not very confident with lashes, please don't do it. For your interview, just wear really nice mascara, or you can always get semi-permanent lashes done or lash lifts, whatever it is. I'm, as you know, very comfortable wearing lashes. I wear them almost on an everyday basis, so that's why I'm quite comfortable wearing it. And then once the glue is dry, you just kind of go over with your liner again, just to make sure that there's no glue residue. Ta-da! Eye makeup is already done. I'm going to finish this look with some lipstick, and again, I would probably suggest try and not wear bold lipsticks like a bright red or a bright orange. Obviously it looks amazing, and you know, I'm all for bold lipsticks as well, but I think at the interview, again, you don't want the interviewer to be just staring at your lips and for it to just really distract. Like, I find it's nicer to wear like a nude color, something that's quite moisturizing, so you don't feel like throughout the day you're like, oh, you know, like uncomfortable. Like, you want to be able to freely speak without, again, having any issues with your lips, I guess. So I'm going to pick two colors from MAC, and this is Mocha, and I've got Morning Coffee here as well. So Mocha is like pretty similar to what I've already got on my eyes. I think it's like a brownie, peachy, with a hint of pink. So I think this is a pretty look without it looking too much and not too little, but this is me. You can obviously do a simplified version of what I've just you know, taught you. The whole point of this look was not to get you guys to do the exact same thing every single time you go to an interview. It was just to kind of give you like that understanding of simplicity and less is more. And the utmost important thing is obviously for you to be fully comfortable. And I think when you're comfortable and confident, I think that really reflects in your interview as well. And I think, you know what, it doesn't matter if you're going for an interview at like, I don't know, a fast food restaurant, or it's an interview for like one of the top, you know, sort of accountancy firms or something. I feel like no matter what the interview is, I think looking presentable, looking, you know, conservative, and feeling comfortable and confident are like key elements. So yeah, like, I hope you guys like this. So with my hair, I had already done it prior, so it was just simple waves. I'm going to leave my hair out, but I'll probably leave it behind me so it doesn't distract. I don't want anything to come. Usually I give myself a much bigger parting, but then the hair ends up coming to the front a lot, so I have to always push it back, and I don't want to do that. So I'll probably end up like when, you know, you go in, maybe like, you know, have the hair tucked behind your ear, so it's almost like all away, nice, prim and proper. Or you can do a bun, or you can do a ponytail, but something where you don't feel like your hair again is going to distract you. So I think it's like, it's nice. I think this is a clean, you know, tidy look, and I'm just going to go get changed now. Right, so I got my outfit on. I've got like my camisole, my blazer, my pants, and some nice flat shoes so that I can sort of walk. Imagine somebody picks you up to take you to the interview room, and you're just like walking really slow because you've got really high heels on. So I like to just be like really comfortable with my flats. You can, if you're great with heels, absolutely. I'm not, so I'm choosing to wear this. And you know, my good luck charm is usually always my cross chain, so I usually wear it when you know, if I am going to an interview or I'm on a flight. This is like what I, without fail, wear every single time. So if you do have anything that kind of gives you a little bit of good luck, just to give you that little bit of a confidence boost, absolutely do add it. So yeah, this is like my look. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this video was useful, and if you do have any questions, or if you do want to add anything that people could do to prepare for an interview as well, it doesn't have to be physically, it could be anything else, please do leave it in the feedback. That would be great. Everyone else could also get some tips and tricks from you guys. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do share. I'm pretty sure so many people would benefit from this. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Bye.